How to recognize manipulation in conversations. Sometimes you walk away from a conversation feeling uneasy, guilty, off balance, drained, but you can't quite put your finger on what happened. That might be manipulation, not the loud, obvious kind, but the subtle type that slowly influences your emotions, decisions, and even how you see yourself. Manipulation isn't always malicious. Often, it's just a way someone tries to get their needs met through habits they learned without realizing it. And behind those patterns, there's often pain, growing up in chaos, being ignored, emotionally neglected, or humiliated. People who manipulate often never learned how to express emotions in a healthy way. They fear rejection, they crave control, and they act out of that fear without even knowing it. That doesn't excuse the behavior, but it helps us understand it, and most importantly, protect ourselves from it. In this video, we'll walk through specific forms of manipulation in conversations and how to recognize and respond to them with calm clarity and self-respect. Gaslighting. Gaslighting is a form of manipulation that makes you doubt your thoughts, feelings, or even your memory. You speak up about something that hurt you, and the other person says, "You're overreacting. You're making that up. I never said that." The more it happens, the more you start to doubt yourself. You wonder, maybe I'm the problem? But this isn't just a difference of opinion. Gaslighting is a slow erosion of your reality. In a relationship, it becomes a space where your truth stops mattering. Sometimes it comes in more subtle forms, like sarcastic jokes about your sensitivity. "Wow, I didn't think you'd take it so personally." "Relax, it was just a joke." If you notice this pattern, you don't have to argue or convince anyone. You can simply say to yourself, "What I feel matters. What I remember is real to me." Or calmly to the other person, "You may remember it differently, but this is how it felt for me." Gaslighting isn't always calculated. Sometimes it's a defense mechanism, a way someone avoids taking responsibility. Maybe they were taught as children that showing weakness leads to shame or punishment. So now, they distort reality not to hurt you, but to protect themselves. That doesn't make it okay, but understanding the fear behind it helps you step out of the trap and stay connected to your own truth. Guilt tripping and emotional conditioning. This tactic makes you feel bad about something that is actually completely normal. Your needs and boundaries are framed as selfishness, coldness, or ingratitude. "After everything I've done for you, this is how you treat me? If you really loved me, you wouldn't act this way. Don't you think you're being a bit selfish?" This technique works because it hits your sense of responsibility and worth. You start backing down, apologizing, shrinking yourself. But healthy relationships don't run on guilt. You have the right to say no, to feel tired, or to have different needs. You have the right to take care of yourself. You can respond with, "I hear that it's hard for you, but I also have my own limits. I didn't do this to hurt you. I did it because it was important to me." People who use guilt often feel unseen or abandoned. Maybe they were only noticed when they were hurting, and now they repeat that pattern without realizing it. That doesn't excuse the manipulation, but it helps you separate from it with clarity instead of conflict. The silent treatment. This is when someone stops talking to you, not to calm down, but to pressure you. Silence becomes a punishment. The message is, you did something wrong, and now you'll suffer, alone and confused. You start wondering what you did, how to fix it, maybe even apologizing without knowing why. The silent treatment creates fear of rejection. It teaches you that staying small and silent is safer than being real. Over time, it leads to tension, distance, and shutting down. If you feel ignored and don't know why, you might say, "If something hurt you, I'm open to talk about it, but I find silence difficult and unclear. When you go quiet for a long time, I feel anxious and unsure. I'd rather we talk openly than withdraw into silence. The person using silence might not know how to deal with conflict or hurt. Maybe they were ignored as children and now repeat what they once experienced. That doesn't make it okay, but it helps you decide whether you want to keep engaging in that pattern. You have the right to walk away from dynamics where you're consistently left in the dark. Role reversal. This happens when you express that something hurt you, and the other person suddenly becomes the victim. You say, "It really hurt when you shut me down in front of our friends." And you hear, "You're always attacking me. I can never get it right with you." Suddenly, the conversation is no longer about you. You're the one apologizing, defending, doubting yourself, even though all you wanted was to speak your truth. Role reversal is a way to avoid accountability and regain control. It's also a defense against emotions that feel too overwhelming. If this keeps happening, pause. You can say, "I'm not trying to hurt you. I just want to share what's going on for me. I'm not blaming you. I'm describing how it felt on my side." People who reverse roles often fear judgment and rejection. Maybe they were expected to be perfect and punished for any mistake. That doesn't mean you should stay quiet. You have the right to speak up and to be heard, even if the other person resists that. Praise as a hook. Not all manipulation sounds negative. Sometimes it comes disguised as admiration. "You're amazing. No one understands me like you do. With you, I can finally be myself." But later, that admiration becomes conditional. "You've changed. You're not the same person I fell in love with." "You're great when you do what you're supposed to." This technique hooks you with praise and then controls you with it. Eventually, you learn, "I'm only valuable when I meet expectations." You deserve relationships where you matter for who you are, not just what you do. You can say, "I appreciate the kind words, but I don't want to feel like I have to earn them." I value relationships where I can be myself, even when I do things differently. People who use praise as a hook may fear losing connection. Maybe they learned that admiration keeps people close, and they don't know any other way. That doesn't mean you have to play along. You're allowed to be yourself, without conditions. Conclusion. Even if you speak with calm, clarity, and respect, there's no guarantee the other person will respond in a healthy way. They might deny, deflect, or ignore what you're saying, and that, in itself, is an answer. You have the right to notice when you're not being heard. You have the right to protect yourself, even if that means walking away from a relationship that keeps hurting you. You don't have to fight, insult, or prove anything. Sometimes, it's enough to stop playing the role someone is trying to cast you in. You can step back, breathe, disconnect from the chaos. Because when you stop watering what's hurting you, it slowly withers on its own.